For those looking to race F124 from a realistic camera angle, the Cockpit cam is the best way to go. It represents what a real Formula 1 driver will see by putting you directly behind the wheel. Real F1 broadcasters are starting to use helmet cameras throughout a race weekend, which gives us a real glimpse of what a driver sees behind the wheel for the first time ever. And these cameras are incredibly impressive as they show the chaos of driving an F1 car much more than the onboard TV pod camera does. By the way, if you do like to race with the onboard offset camera, I've got some recommended settings which I'll leave a link in the description below and a card in the top of this video, so go check them out. But in this video, I'm going to be focusing entirely on the best cockpit camera settings for F124. I'm going to be analysing some real world helmet camera footage from Max Verstappen, and then I'm going to replicate that in F124. I'll also make some adjustments to show you our recommended cockpit camera settings, which are a little bit different to the realistic camera, but they will give you a little bit of a better field of view out of the car. The helmet cam really is the closest most of us will ever get to sitting behind the wheel of a Formula 1 car, so it's our best and only reference point when creating realistic cockpit camera settings. On screen is an image of Max Verstappen's helmet camera from the Chinese Grand Prix a few weeks ago. This camera is offset to one side, which is due to the placement of the camera within Max's helmet, so we'll have to account for that when we're actually creating our camera settings. Some of the key references from this helmet cam is how much of the steering wheel we can see, how much of the wheels we can see, and the mirrors, which we cannot see from this angle. But you can see that Max has a good visibility out of the cockpit and down towards the nose of the car. And you can see he also has an incomplete view of his steering wheel with only really the top 50% visible. So moving over to F124, we can immediately make some quick adjustments. I've moved the camera closer to the steering wheel and positioned it so we have similar visibility over the steering wheel and out over the front of the car and of the front tyres. From this angle we can see the top strut of the suspension much like we can in the helmet cam, and we can also see that the wing mirrors are kind of cutting across the front tyres. The main downside of this is that a lot of visibility out each side of the car has been lost. We can't see our mirrors at all, and we can't really see too much of the track around us. If you're racing with an eye tracker or in VR, this camera angle works perfectly as you can rotate your head to look in your mirrors. However, if you're racing using a normal 16:9 monitor or a TV, this camera angle may be less than ideal. I'm going to show you on screen now the settings that I've used to create this camera, so feel free to pause the video here and copy these over in game. Now, I'm not super convinced that realistically replicating the helmet camera provides the best overall experience within F124. For me, they're too close to the steering wheel and they limit visibility too much. I've made a couple of key changes to improve overall visibility and produce what I think are the best cockpit camera settings you can have in F124. To achieve this, I've adjusted the field of view so we're sitting kind of further back in the car. I've also reduced the look to apex limit, as when you're turning the steering wheel left and right with a higher limit, it kind of makes the on-screen camera wobble from side to side and it can really disorientate you and not overly help you too much. And I've also removed the halo column. This one is down to personal preference whether you want it there or not, but for me, just getting the best visibility out over the front of the car and of cars in front of you, I like to have the halo column removed. These changes still give us the same kind of visibility out over the nose of the car and of the front tyres, keeping the realistic viewpoint that we had from the helmet cam, but now we can just see the corners of the car much better and better position our car on the track. And that rounds this video out, a nice short and sweet video just showing you the best cockpit camera settings. Let me know in the comments below which camera you like to race with. Do you like ultra-realism with a cockpit cam? Or do you prefer the onboard or the offset camera? Also, consider hitting that like button if you've enjoyed this video. It helps our channel grow and it also helps this video get seen by others. And as always, consider subscribing as I'll be releasing daily F124 setups and settings videos and tips and tricks, that sort of thing. So hit that subscribe button and the alert bell if you want to be notified when they drop. But for now guys, enjoy these settings, enjoy F124, and I'll see you on track.